Many believe Texas will be back at the top of Big 12 football this season. If Tom Herman and the Longhorns arrive in that position, they will have definitely earned it. This is the best schedule, the most difficult, the toughest schedule in the Big 12 this season. It's number 9 in the nation. It belongs to Texas. This is why. Well, the Big 12 is a solid conference. It's improved considerably from a few years ago. I believe it's probably the 4th best conference in college football and challenging the ACC for that number 3 spot. So the Big 12 is formidable. And because everybody plays everyone, you don't dodge any good teams in the conference like is the case with any other league in the country. Of course, everybody gets to play Kansas as well, and Baylor. All right. The Texas schedule includes a couple really, really difficult stretches. They also have the 2 non-conference games that are difficult. One in particular, of course, the return trip of USC. So the Longhorns went to the Coliseum last year and lost in double overtime. This season, the Trojans come to Austin September 15th, the marquee game of the non-conference season for anybody in the Big 12. USC at Texas September 15th. Magical stuff when these two teams get together. At Maryland, September 1st. So the Longhorns and Tom Herman humbled by the Terps to open 2017, 51-41 in Austin. This time they play in Landover, Maryland on September 1st, and Texas, of course, looking for revenge. Sandwiched between the Terps and the Trojans is Tulsa and Philip Montgomery. We'll see if the Golden Hurricane is the 2016 version that won 10 games or the 2017 version that lost 10 games. Regardless of how good they are in the American Conference, of course, Texas expected and needs to beat Tulsa. But that's the non-conference slate. It's pretty darn tough. Maryland, Tulsa, and USC. Maryland somewhat on the road. All right. That brings us into Big 12 play and one of the toughest stretches of the season for the Longhorns. USC, TCU, Kansas State, Oklahoma in a row. Again, that's USC and TCU at home, Kansas State in Manhattan, Oklahoma, of course, the annual grudge match, the Red River rivalry in Oklahoma, in Dallas, of course, at the Cotton Bowl against the Sooners. All right, Baylor in an open date, and then another difficult stretch that opens with Oklahoma State on the road, October 27th, followed by West Virginia. Texas Tech, we put them in the difficult stretch. They weren't last year, but the defense is back with 10 starters. There's reason to believe Texas Tech could be a much better team this year. So anyway, follow me. Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Texas Tech on the road, and Iowa State. And, of course, Texas Tech beat Texas last year. And, of course, the Cyclones came out of nowhere to win some big games last season as well. They finish up with Kansas, so if Texas has a chance to go to the Big 12 championship game, it's all but sewn up with a date to Kansas the final week of the season. So, on the strength of USC and Maryland and no real patsies out of conference, and the Big 12 being difficult with 2 really difficult stretches stacked up with 4 consecutive tough top 25 type games, Texas comes in with the toughest schedule in the Big 12. It's 9th in the nation. Please join us at MarkRogersTV for the best in college football analysis on a regular basis. Every day we bring you instant analysis of games during the season. And, of course, we are setting you up right now for 2018 when we get done with this series, previews and predictions of the entire Power 5 and all the major independents right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.